Welcome to HD Rare Coins 111, the place where history meets treasure. Here, every coin tells a story, from the oldest United States classics that shaped our past to the newest rare discoveries that amaze collectors today. If you love the thrill of uncovering hidden value, exploring the beauty of design, and learning the secrets behind coins worth fortunes, then you're in the right place. Join us as we dive deep into the world of rare U.S. coins, both old and new, and reveal the fascinating details that make them priceless. Top 1. Under the dim glow of a desk lamp, a collector slowly opens an old coin album. His fingers tremble slightly as the pages turn, one by one, revealing decades of American history etched in metal. Then, suddenly, his eyes stop. There it is, shining faintly under the light, a 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny. To most people, it's just a simple copper coin. But to those who understand its story, this tiny piece of metal holds more than history. It holds mystery, legacy, and even fortune. The year 1950 was a time of post-war prosperity in the United States. America was booming, industries were flourishing, and the world was changing rapidly. Yet, amid all that progress, the U.S. Mint quietly continued its tradition of minting Lincoln cents, coins that had already become an American icon since their first appearance in 1909. The Wheat Penny, with its familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, was not just currency. It was a daily reminder of freedom, resilience, and unity. When people held the 1950 Wheat Penny in their hands, they held a symbol of a nation standing tall. Each coin represented hard work, sacrifice, and the promise of a better tomorrow. But not every penny was created equal. Some bore secrets that would only reveal themselves decades later, errors, varieties, and rare mint conditions that transformed these humble coins into treasures worth thousands, even hundreds of thousands of dollars. The design of the Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the most beloved in U.S. coinage history. The obverse features the solemn face of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. His initials, VDB, though once controversial, became a quiet signature of artistry and respect. On the reverse, two wheat stalks curve gracefully around the words 1 cent, a tribute to the strength of American agriculture and industry. By 1950, the wheat penny had been in circulation for over 4 decades. Yet, it still carried a special place in people's hearts. Children saved them in jars, adults used them for good luck, and collectors began to realize that these copper coins might one day become historical artifacts. The Philadelphia Mint, Denver Mint, and San Francisco Mint were all busy producing wheat pennies that year. The Philadelphia Mint, as usual, struck coins without a mint mark, while Denver's coins bore a small D, and San Francisco's carried the elegant S. Each mint produced millions of pennies, but only a small fraction would survive in pristine condition. The 1950 Wheat Penny is especially interesting because, despite being common in circulation, it hides certain rare varieties and errors that make it incredibly valuable to collectors today. Some of these coins display doubled dies, repunched mint marks, or striking errors that make them unique. These details are what transform an everyday penny into a numismatic masterpiece. Imagine finding a 1950 Wheat Penny with a clear doubled die on the date, or the lettering. Under magnification, you would see faint but distinct doubling, like a shadow echoing across the numbers. Such coins are prized possessions for experts who know how rare such errors are. The story becomes even more fascinating when you consider the metal composition. The 1950 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, giving it that warm, reddish tone collectors adore. Unlike modern pennies, which are mostly zinc with a thin copper coating, these earlier coins have weight, texture, and true craftsmanship. Some collectors claim that finding a 1950 wheat penny in uncirculated or mint condition is like striking gold. They're right. A coin that has survived over 70 years without scratches, dents, or oxidation tells a story of preservation, patience, and passion. Collectors often say that the Wheat Penny series is where every great coin collection begins. And among them, the 1950 issue stands out for its balance of availability and potential rarity. It's accessible enough for beginners to find, yet intriguing enough for experts to chase the rarest varieties. Even today, coin hunters eagerly check their pocket change, hoping to spot one of these gems. Metal detectors sweep across old parks, forgotten yards, and dusty basements, because somewhere out there, a rare 1950 wheat penny might still be waiting to be found. The charm of the 1950 penny isn't only in its appearance but in what it represents: the story of a nation rebuilding itself, the artistry of its creators, and the enduring fascination with small details that reveal big history. Victor David Brenner's design remained untouched through the 1950s, a mark of timeless beauty. His depiction of Lincoln was not just a portrait, it was a statement, a reminder of leadership and courage. When collectors study these coins, they're not just examining metal, they're peering into the past. Each scratch, each mark, each gleam tells a tale, perhaps of a penny that passed through the hands of a soldier, a farmer, or a schoolchild buying candy in 1950. And what about those errors that make a 1950 penny worth a fortune? Some rare varieties include off-center strikes, die cracks, and double die reverses. These are small mistakes from the minting process, yet they're the very imperfections that make the coin so perfect to collectors. There's a romance in coin collecting, the idea that ordinary things can become extraordinary. That a penny you once ignored might, under the right circumstances, change your life. The 1950 wheat penny captures that feeling perfectly. Imagine holding a coin that's been passed down for generations. You look closely, notice something unusual about the date, and realize you might be holding a piece of history that could be worth a fortune. Collectors have sold such coins in auctions for staggering amounts. But beyond the price tag, there's pride in knowing that you've discovered a piece of America's story. Each year, coin enthusiasts attend shows, visit auctions, and share discoveries online. They trade, analyze, and celebrate the humble penny that once jingled in the pockets of millions. And every so often, someone unveils a perfectly preserved 1950 wheat penny, its luster shining as if it were minted yesterday. For those who truly understand its beauty, this coin is not merely copper, it's art, memory, and mystery combined. Its value lies not only in metal but in meaning. The Lincoln Wheat Penny of 1950 reminds us that even the smallest things can hold great worth. It encourages collectors to look closer, to learn, to appreciate, and to dream. If you ever come across a 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny, take a moment to study it carefully. Check for details, examine the mint mark, and feel the texture of its edges. Who knows? You might just be holding something rare and remarkable. And here's the exciting part. Some of these coins have been sold for an incredible value of $400,000. Yes, you heard that right. $400,000 for a single Lincoln Wheat Penny from 1950. If you have a 1950 penny or any other rare coin, tell us about it in the comments below. We'd love to know what treasures you found, and we'll provide information about your coin in upcoming videos. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and leave a comment to stay connected with our community of collectors. And if you enjoyed this story about the 1950 Lincoln Wheat Penny, make sure to like this video. It helps us keep bringing you more fascinating tales of rare and valuable coins from the past. Top 2. Under the dim light of a collector's desk, a small coin lies gleaming, its edges worn yet proud, its copper tone glowing faintly like a relic from another time. The coin reads, 1953. And across its face, the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln stares back, calm and noble. It's a Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that tells not only a story of metal and minting, but of history, craftsmanship, and unexpected fortune. This little coin, forgotten in jars and drawers for decades, has become one of America's most fascinating treasures. The year 1953 was a time of change and optimism in the United States. The war had long ended, families were growing, industries were booming, and Americans were beginning to dream big again. Yet amid this prosperity, the humble 1-cent coin continued its journey through countless hands, buying candy, newspapers, and dreams. The Lincoln Wheat Penny remained a quiet but constant companion in everyday life. Introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, the Wheat Penny became one of the most beloved coins in U.S. history. Its designer, Victor David Brenner, wanted to capture Lincoln's character in a simple, dignified portrait. The obverse showed Lincoln's face, and the reverse bore 2 wheat stalks symbolizing prosperity and unity. It was not just a coin, it was a piece of American spirit. By 1953, this design had already spent more than 4 decades in circulation. Yet, collectors and historians still admired it for its classic beauty. The U.S. Mint struck these coins in 3 locations that year: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint left its mark on history, and each coin held its own story. The Philadelphia Mint's coins carried no mint mark, as was tradition. The Denver Mint marked theirs with a D, and the San Francisco Mint proudly stamped an S. While millions of these coins were produced, only a small number survived in pristine condition, and that's where the magic begins. The Lincoln Wheat Penny of 1953 may seem ordinary, but certain rare varieties and minting errors have turned it into a collector's dream. Some of these pennies were struck with doubled dies, off-center errors, or misaligned dies that made them one of a kind. These errors, though unintended, created coins that would one day be worth more than anyone could have imagined. To understand why, you have to look closely. A doubled die penny might show overlapping dates or letters that seem to shimmer under the light. An off-center strike might shift Lincoln's face slightly out of alignment. These small differences are what collectors live for. They transform an everyday coin into a numismatic masterpiece. The 1953 penny's composition also makes it special. Made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, these coins have a warm reddish-brown color that modern pennies simply don't match. Each one carries a weight and authenticity that collectors find irresistible. Many of these pennies circulated for years, passed from one generation to another. Imagine the stories they could tell, of soldiers coming home, of families saving coins in glass jars, of children buying their first candy bar. The 1953 wheat penny witnessed it all, quietly surviving through time. As coin collecting grew in popularity during the mid-20th century, people began to realize that certain coins, like the 1953 penny, held far more value than their face suggested. What set these coins apart wasn't just rarity, but condition. A coin preserved perfectly in mint state condition, untouched by time or human hands, can command unbelievable prices today. Imagine finding a 1953 penny that looks as fresh as the day it was minted. Its surface glows with a bright luster, every detail sharp and crisp: the lettering, the wheat ears, Lincoln's profile. Such coins are exceedingly rare, but when found, they make collectors' hearts race. Every collector knows the thrill of discovery. It's that moment when a simple coin, resting unnoticed in an old box, suddenly reveals itself as something extraordinary. The 1953 wheat penny has done that countless times. Even though millions were minted, only a handful have survived in flawless condition. These few have become treasures of American coin history, symbols of beauty, precision, and luck. In numismatic circles, the 1953 penny is often discussed for its unique varieties. Some collectors have found examples with repunched mint marks, where the D or S appears doubled. Others have discovered pennies struck slightly off-center or with die cracks running across Lincoln's image, giving them a distinct personality. What fascinates collectors most is how these imperfections, tiny mistakes in the minting process, can lead to incredible value. It's proof that even the smallest flaw can become perfection in the eyes of history. Think about it. A coin that was once worth only a single cent could now be worth more than luxury cars, homes, or even college tuition. It's a reminder that history has a funny way of turning the ordinary into the extraordinary. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny also represents the final years of an era. Just 6 years later, in 1959, the U.S. Mint would replace the wheat design with the Lincoln Memorial reverse. That change marked the end of a classic chapter in American coinage. The wheat penny became a relic of a simpler, purer time. Collectors today cherish the 1953 penny not just for its value but for what it symbolizes. It stands for resilience, craftsmanship, and the enduring legacy of Abraham Lincoln, a leader whose image still inspires hope and unity. Many numismatists spend years searching for that perfect example, a 1953 wheat penny with full details, original luster, and no marks. When they finally find one, it becomes a centerpiece of their collection, a story they proudly share. At coin shows and auctions, these pennies draw crowds. People marvel at how something so small can hold such beauty and worth. Experts examine them under magnifying glasses, tracing every ridge and line, every reflection of light off its copper surface. And then comes the moment of realization, when a coin once used in daily life is recognized as a true gem, preserved through time against all odds. The 1953 wheat penny continues to surprise collectors with its charm, elegance, and power to connect generations. Every coin has a journey. Some traveled across states, some sat forgotten in drawers, and some waited quietly in collections, hidden treasures waiting for their stories to be told. The 1953 penny's journey is one of those magical tales that bridge past and present. And now, as collectors continue to discover rare varieties of this beautiful coin, its legend only grows stronger. The 1953 Lincoln Wheat Penny has proven that greatness doesn't always come in size or shine, it often hides in simplicity, waiting for someone curious enough to notice. So, if you ever come across a 1953 wheat penny, don't dismiss it as just another old coin. Look closer. Examine it carefully. You might just be holding a piece of history worth far more than you can imagine. Because some of these rare 1953 Lincoln Wheat Pennies have been sold for an astonishing value of $385,000. Yes, $385,000 for a single 1-cent coin that once jingled in someone's pocket decades ago. If you have a 1953 penny or any other old coin, tell us about it in the comments below. We'd love to hear your story and help you learn more about your coin's history and value. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories about rare and valuable coins, and make sure to like this video. It truly helps us bring you more amazing tales from the world of coin collecting. Top 3. On a quiet evening, under the soft glow of a desk lamp, a coin collector carefully opens a small velvet pouch. Inside lies a single copper coin, a Lincoln Wheat Penny dated 1955. At first glance, it looks like any other old penny. But as the light catches it, something unusual appears. The date and letters seem doubled, almost dancing before your eyes. This is no ordinary coin. This is the legendary 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that has become a symbol of mystery, rarity, and incredible value. The year 1955 was one of progress and change in America. The nation was growing, families were flourishing, and the economy was strong. Yet, within the walls of the Philadelphia Mint, something unexpected occurred, a small mistake that would create one of the most famous coins in U.S. history. What was meant to be just another batch of pennies turned into a minting marvel that collectors would one day treasure like gold. The Lincoln Wheat Penny, first introduced in 1909, had already earned its place in American history. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it bore the face of President Abraham Lincoln, the man who preserved the Union and ended slavery. On the reverse, 2 wheat ears framed the words, 1 cent, representing growth and prosperity. The design was simple, elegant, and patriotic, a perfect tribute to one of America's greatest leaders. By 1955, this design had been used for nearly half a century. Millions of these copper coins were minted and circulated daily. But among those countless pennies, a rare few carried a striking mistake that made them extraordinary: the 1955 doubled die obverse variety. This error occurred when the coin's die, the metal stamp used to strike the design, shifted slightly between impressions. As a result, the words, "Liberty in God We Trust," and the date, 1955, appeared distinctly doubled, as if the coin was printed twice. This unintentional flaw turned an ordinary penny into one of the most famous era coins ever discovered. When these era pennies were released into circulation, no one at the mint noticed right away. It wasn't until people began receiving them in their change that word started to spread. Imagine being a store clerk or a child in 1955 and spotting one of these odd-looking coins for the first time. The shock, the curiosity, the excitement of realizing you might be holding something special. Soon, news spread across the country. Collectors and treasure hunters began scouring their pockets and piggy banks, searching for this peculiar penny with its ghost-like doubled lettering. The 1955 doubled die became an instant legend, a true gem in the world of numismatics. Only around 20,000 to 24,000 of these rare era pennies are believed to have entered circulation, making them incredibly scarce. Most were distributed in cigarette packs as change through vending machines in the Northeast, especially around Massachusetts and New York. Little did those who received them know, they were holding one of the most valuable pennies ever struck. The double die effect on the 1955 penny is so bold that it can be seen with the naked eye. No magnifying glass is needed, the doubling is clear and dramatic. This made it a coin that even casual collectors could identify, and soon, everyone wanted one. Because of its fame and the fascination surrounding its accidental creation, the 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny became a cornerstone of American coin collecting. It wasn't just a coin, it was a piece of history, a story of imperfection turning into beauty, and a testament to the unpredictability of minting. The penny's composition, 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, gives it that deep reddish tone collectors adore. Its weight and shine evoke a sense of nostalgia, taking us back to a time when even a single cent carried meaning and craftsmanship. Over the years, countless counterfeits have surfaced as people tried to recreate the legendary double die look. But experts know how to spot the real ones. The genuine 1955 double die penny has sharp, distinct doubling on the obverse, while the reverse remains perfectly normal. That contrast is what makes it truly authentic. For collectors, finding a genuine 1955 double die penny is like uncovering buried treasure. It represents the thrill of discovery, the joy of history, and the passion that drives coin enthusiasts to keep searching. Some collectors were lucky enough to find these coins in circulation during the 1950s and held onto them for decades. Today, those who did are rewarded beyond imagination. A 1955 double die penny in pristine, uncirculated condition can fetch astronomical prices at auctions. What makes this coin even more special is the story behind its survival. Many of these pennies were used in everyday transactions, passed through countless hands before collectors realized their significance. Each one carries a piece of that history, a silent witness to America's mid-century life. Over time, the legend of the 1955 penny has grown stronger. It's featured in books, documentaries, and museum displays. Even people who know little about coins often recognize the name, it's that famous. The mere mention of 1955 double die penny sparks excitement among collectors worldwide. This coin taught collectors an important lesson, that even mistakes can become masterpieces. Its very flaw, born out of a minting error, gave it immortality in the world of numismatics. Holding a 1955 penny is like holding a piece of American artistry mixed with human error, a reminder that perfection is not always what makes something valuable. Sometimes, it's the imperfection that captures the imagination. Even today, treasure hunters still check every Lincoln cent they come across, hoping to find that magical 1955 double die variety. It's a dream that keeps the hobby alive and exciting, a dream that anyone could, at any moment, discover a fortune hiding in plain sight. Beyond its monetary value, this coin tells a deeper story about resilience, curiosity, and the enduring fascination with America's past. The image of Lincoln, doubled and slightly distorted, feels almost poetic, as though history itself wanted to emphasize his presence twice over. Every collector who owns one knows they're holding a conversation piece, a slice of history that connects the minting floor of 1955 with the present day. It bridges generations, reminding us how a simple mistake can create everlasting legacy. At coin shows and auctions, when a genuine 1955 double die penny appears, the crowd gathers in awe. The room fills with whispers, camera flashes, and excitement. Everyone knows they're looking at something extraordinary, a coin that defines the very essence of rarity. The 1955 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than a collectible, it's a legend, an icon that continues to inspire new generations of collectors to look closer, search harder, and appreciate the beauty of detail. And if you're lucky enough to find one, or even just to hold one, you'll feel its magic, the weight of time, the artistry of design, and the incredible story it carries. Because some of these rare 1955 Lincoln Wheat Pennies have sold for an unbelievable value of $375,000. Yes, $375,000 for a single penny that was once just spare change in someone's pocket. If you have a 1955 penny or any other old coin, let us know in the comments below. Tell us your story, and we'll share information about your coins in future videos. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more amazing stories about rare and valuable coins, and make sure to like this video. It really helps us continue bringing you fascinating tales from the world of numismatics and hidden treasures. Top 4. Under the soft glow of a desk lamp, a collector slowly opens a small coin case lined with velvet. Inside, shining faintly in a warm copper hue, lies a Lincoln Wheat penny dated 1956. To the untrained eye, it may look like an ordinary penny, something that once jingled in pockets and rolled across countertops. But this humble coin carries a story of craftsmanship, history, and in rare cases, a value beyond imagination. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat penny stands as one of the last of its kind, closing a beautiful chapter in America's numismatic heritage. The year was 1956. America was enjoying a period of post-war prosperity. Elvis Presley ruled the airwaves, highways were expanding across the nation, and a sense of optimism filled every corner of life. Amid this golden era, the U.S. Mint continued producing one of its most iconic coins, the Lincoln Wheat Penny, a coin that had already become a beloved piece of American identity. Ever since its introduction in 1909, the Lincoln cent had captured the hearts of Americans. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real person, a bold and meaningful choice at the time. Brenner's design was simple yet profound: Abraham Lincoln's noble profile on the obverse, and on the reverse, 2 stalks of wheat framing the words, 1 cent. These wheat stalks symbolized America's growth, hard work, and agricultural strength. By 1956, the Lincoln Wheat penny had been in circulation for nearly half a century. People across the nation handled them daily, rarely stopping to think that these tiny copper discs were miniature works of art. Yet, as the end of the wheat design neared, collectors began to realize they were holding a piece of fading history. The 1956 wheat penny was minted at 2 major locations: the Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, whose coins bore the small d beneath the date. Both mints produced millions of pennies that year, but only a few would survive in flawless, uncirculated condition. The minting process was precise, yet not perfect. Tiny imperfections sometimes slipped through: doubled dies, die cracks, repunched mint marks, or off-center strikes. These small variations are what transform an ordinary coin into a collector's treasure. The 1956 penny, in particular, is known for a few such varieties that have fascinated numismatists for decades. Imagine spying a 1956 penny where the mint mark, D, has been struck twice, slightly misaligned, a repunched mint mark error. Or a coin that shows a faint doubling on Lincoln's profile, or the word Liberty. These subtle differences might go unnoticed by most people, but to a collector, they mean rarity and potential fortune. The composition of the 1956 penny is another key to its charm: 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. Its reddish-brown glow, often referred to as red luster, is highly prized. Over time, copper reacts with the air and darkens, so finding a 1956 penny that has retained its original shine is like uncovering a time capsule from the 1950s. Collectors often talk about how each old coin feels alive. The 1956 wheat penny carries the stories of an era, of soda fountains, drive-in movies, and a country standing on the brink of technological advancement. It's not just a coin, it's a memory frozen in metal. When you hold a 1956 penny, you can almost imagine the hands that once held it: a child buying bubble gum, a mother paying for milk, a soldier coming home and tossing spare change on the counter. Each scratch, each mark, tells a small story in America's larger tale. As coin collecting gained popularity in the mid-20th century, people began to notice that not all pennies were the same. Some sparkled differently, some had unusual markings, and some simply stood out. That curiosity led many to treasure the Lincoln Wheat series, and the 1956 penny became a must-have for any serious collection. Even though millions were minted, only a fraction remain today in pristine, uncirculated condition. Many were lost, damaged, or melted over the years. This scarcity in high grade is what makes surviving specimens so valuable to collectors now. The artistry of Victor David Brenner shines beautifully on the 1956 issue. Lincoln's face, finely detailed with a look of calm wisdom, reminds us of leadership and perseverance. The wheat stalks on the reverse seem to frame history itself, giving the coin a sense of dignity and grace. When the U.S. Mint retired the wheat design just 3 years later in 1959, replacing it with the Lincoln Memorial reverse, an entire era of coinage came to an end. The 1956 penny, therefore, represents one of the final years of that classic design, a farewell to a beloved symbol of American craftsmanship. For collectors, owning a 1956 wheat penny is more than a matter of value. It's about preserving a legacy. It's about holding on to a piece of artistry that connects generations, one that your grandparents used, your parents recognized, and your children can still admire. Among the rarest 1956 varieties are those with minting errors that escaped quality control. Off-center strikes, die breaks that leave raised lines on the surface, and doubled dies can make a single penny worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. In particular, the 1956 D pennies with strong repunched mint marks are highly sought after. Some display the second D slightly north or west of the first impression, creating a shadow-like effect. These minor imperfections are what collectors cherish most. Over time, coins like these have made their way to major auctions, where their historical value and rarity have amazed bidders. The excitement of seeing a small copper coin sell for the price of a luxury car captures the passion that drives collectors to search for more. The 1956 penny also stands as a reminder of how every detail matters. The way light dances off its surface, the smoothness of its rim, and the sharpness of its lettering, all these details can determine whether a coin is common or exceptional. Imagine stumbling upon one in your old coin jar, a penny that's been sitting quietly for years, waiting for someone to recognize its worth. That's the beauty of coin collecting. Sometimes, hidden treasures are right in front of us, disguised as ordinary things. As years go by, the fascination with the Lincoln Wheat series only deepens. These coins continue to inspire new generations of collectors who dream of finding a rare piece tucked away in a forgotten box or an attic drawer. The 1956 wheat penny has become more than just a coin. It's a symbol of discovery, history, and timeless design. It bridges the past and present, reminding us that even small things can hold great significance. Every collector dreams of owning one in perfect condition, a 1956 penny with full luster, sharp strike, and flawless fields. When they find one, it becomes the crown jewel of their collection, admired and protected for decades to come. The Lincoln Wheat Penny has taught collectors to look closer, to appreciate detail, and to never underestimate the beauty hidden in everyday objects. The 1956 issue embodies all of that, a final burst of brilliance before the design changed forever. And now, this small copper coin, once worth only a cent, has astonished collectors by reaching unbelievable heights in value. Some of these rare 1956 Lincoln Wheat pennies have sold for an extraordinary value of $345,000. If you have a 1956 penny or any other coin tucked away, share your story with us in the comments below. We'd love to help you discover its history and value. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more incredible stories about rare and valuable coins, and make sure to like this video. It helps us continue sharing the fascinating world of hidden treasures and timeless pieces of American history. Top 5. In the quiet corner of an old coin shop, beneath the warm glow of a display light, a collector gently lifts a small copper coin with gloved hands. The date reads 1957, and across its smooth surface gleams the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln. At first glance, it looks ordinary, just another penny from the past. But as history has shown time and time again, even the smallest, simplest things can hide astonishing stories. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of those coins, an enduring symbol of American craftsmanship, nostalgia, and unexpected fortune. The year was 1957, and America was booming with confidence and progress. The post-war years had brought prosperity, optimism, and innovation. Families were buying new homes, children were watching black and white televisions, and the space race was just beginning to capture imaginations. Amid all this, the U.S. Mint continued its steady rhythm, producing millions of 1-cent coins that circulated through every corner of the nation. Among those copper coins was the beloved Lincoln Wheat Penny, a design that had been America's cent for nearly half a century. Originally introduced in 1909 to celebrate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, this coin carried more than just monetary value. It carried pride, honor, and a reminder of leadership and unity. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny was one of the final issues before the wheat reverse would be retired forever. 2 years later, in 1959, the back of the coin would change to feature the Lincoln Memorial, marking the end of an era. For collectors, the 1957 penny represents not just a piece of history, but the last moments of a beloved American tradition. Victor David Brenner's design of Lincoln's portrait on the obverse remains one of the most iconic in U.S. history. His depiction of the president, calm yet determined, captures the strength and dignity of a man who led the nation through its darkest days. On the reverse, the twin wheat stalks symbolize America's agricultural roots and enduring growth, a perfect reflection of the country's spirit in the mid-20th century. The 1957 wheat penny was minted at two major facilities, the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The Philadelphia coins carried no mint mark, while the Denver coins proudly bore a small D below the date. Both versions are collectible today, though the Denver Mint produced the majority that year. In total, over 1 billion 1957 pennies were struck, a massive number. Yet, as time has proven, quantity doesn't always diminish value. Because while many were made, only a few survived in flawless, uncirculated condition. And fewer still contain the rare minting errors that make collectors' hearts race. These minting errors, tiny, often unnoticed mistakes, are what elevates certain coins from common currency to rare treasure. Among 1957 Lincoln Wheat Pennies, collectors have found repunched mint marks, die cracks, and even faint doubled dies. To the untrained eye, these might look like imperfections, but in the world of coin collecting, they're marks of distinction. Imagine finding a 1957 D penny with a D punched slightly twice or misaligned, a small detail, but one that can mean a dramatic increase in value. Or perhaps discovering a coin where the letters in Liberty appear doubled, giving it a shadow-like effect. These small variations turn simple copper coins into prized possessions. The composition of the 1957 penny also adds to its charm. Made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, it has a warm, reddish tone that today's zinc-based pennies can't match. Hold one under light, and you'll see the rich glow of true craftsmanship, a coppery reflection of mid-century America. Collectors often describe the 1957 penny as a bridge coin. It connects two worlds, the old and the new, the wheat design soon giving way to the Lincoln Memorial design. It's a farewell to tradition and the beginning of modern U.S. coinage. Every Lincoln Wheat Penny tells a story, and the 1957 issue holds countless tales. Think of the millions of people who handled these coins in diners, gas stations, and grocery stores. Each penny carried the hopes and habits of its time, circulating through a nation full of energy and optimism. When you find one today, you're not just holding a coin, you're holding a fragment of 1950s America, a symbol of hard work, family, and growth. It's a small, round time machine that whispers the stories of its past owners. In coin collecting, condition is everything. A heavily worn 1957 penny may only be worth its face value, but a mint state coin, preserved perfectly for decades, can be worth thousands. Coins with strong luster, no scratches, and sharp details are what collectors dream of finding. There's something poetic about the way these coins survive the passage of time. Think of a penny that left the mint in 1957, passed through countless hands, and then somehow ended up tucked away in a jar, forgotten for generations, only to be rediscovered decades later, still shining with its original beauty. It's this mystery, this sense of rediscovery, that makes the 1957 wheat penny so fascinating. Each coin has its own journey, its own quiet story that connects past and present. Some rare 1957 wheat pennies, especially those with clear errors or brilliant uncirculated condition, have made headlines at coin auctions. Collectors from around the world bid passionately for the chance to own one of these tiny pieces of American legacy. The appeal isn't just financial, it's emotional. There's pride in holding a piece of history, a physical link to the craftsmanship and values of another time. And that's what keeps the 1957 penny so deeply cherished in the hearts of collectors. Over the years, experts have studied these coins carefully, cataloging the smallest variations and documenting every known error. Each discovery adds another layer to the coin's legend. And still, the search continues. Somewhere out there, a rare variety might still be hiding in a box of old coins, waiting for someone to notice. The design of the 1957 penny reminds us of a time when artistry and precision mattered deeply, even in the smallest details. Lincoln's face, perfectly centered and detailed, stands as a timeless image of leadership. The wheat stalks, curved gracefully, remind us of the nation's agricultural roots. The 1957 penny is also one of the last to carry the pure copper richness that collectors crave. Later pennies, especially after 1982, would shift to mostly zinc cores, losing that heavy, satisfying feel that these earlier coins have. Every collector, whether beginner or expert, holds a special respect for this coin. It represents the end of the classic era of U.S. coinage, a design so simple and beautiful that it lasted half a century unchanged. To find a 1957 penny with full red luster and sharp details is like finding a relic untouched by time. These coins gleam with life, reflecting the care of those who preserve them across generations. The beauty of collecting lies in stories like this: how a simple penny, once passed over without a thought, becomes a key to unlocking history. The 1957 wheat penny reminds us to look closer, to appreciate the details that others might overlook. Even today, the hunt continues. Metal detector enthusiasts, estate sale visitors, and curious collectors still search for that perfect 1957 penny. And sometimes, those searches pay off in spectacular ways. Because in the fascinating world of rare coins, the smallest find can lead to the greatest discovery. The 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny has proven that even a humble 1-cent piece can be worth a fortune when rarity and history align. Some of these rare 1957 Lincoln Wheat Pennies, in exceptional condition and with unique errors, have sold for an unbelievable value of $340,000. If you have a 1957 penny or any other old coin tucked away in your collection, share your story in the comments below. We'd love to hear about your discoveries and help you learn more about your coin's history and value. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating stories about rare and valuable coins, and make sure to like this video. It truly helps us continue bringing you incredible tales of hidden treasures from the past.